This is the Hawk. So, as I promised yesterday, I would continue with regards to the SARS virus from 2002 into the coronavirus that's just occurred. Many of these things are just lies, the chemical warfare. We have to take into account what's really going on. I'm going to read some stats to you so you understand the history of where the SARS virus came from and how many people died from it. One must also remember that the swine virus actually started in the 1918. It caused the deaths of approximately 50 million people. Because it staged over many, many years, and because of the lack of communications and reporting, not like today with the internet, it gets lost. But if you look it up, close to 50 million people died from the swine virus, which is the transfer of the influenza virus from pigs to humans. So let's go to the SARS virus. It is spelled SARS. It broke out in 2002. And it went on until 2003. Approximately over 8,000 people contracted the disease or the virus, and it resulted in 774 deaths in 17 countries, which was a 9.6% fertility rate. And most of them were in China, in the southern part of China. They say they traced the virus to a horseback or horseshoe back in the Wuhan province, Yuan province. But I find it strange that of the 5,327 cases in China, there were 349 deaths. But in Hong Kong, there were 1,755 and 299 deaths. 17% died. If you look at the United States, these numbers were far less. 0. 27 cases, 0. Germany, 9 cases, 0. Mongolia, 9 cases, 0 deaths. South Africa, obviously, 1 death and one case, 1 death, 100%. That will be the case if the SARS virus goes to South Africa or the coronavirus. Now, unconfirmed reports are coming out of China, and this is from military people. I'm going to read this. It's quite long and it's quite complicated. The fact is that it's all a lie. I want to take into account a few things for history. Hong Kong has had numerous uprisings and stuff, and with that, the Chinese government have no control. So with no control, they are trying to find ways to control Hong Kong. So it's inevitable that they wanted to find a way to control the people. They know that with the uprising of people like in Hong Kong, similar to what happened to Russia, during the USSR collapse, with Lithuania and Latvia going the way they did, broke the USSR. This will do the same to the Chinese people. Now, the Wuhan industrial city, this virus broke out in the animal market, but it didn't come from animals. It was a biological chemical agent made by the government of China. The official news medias and governments are saying it's a 2% probability that you're going to die. According to this undisclosed source, it's 100%. You will die if you contract it. According to this source, all the media outlets and governments in the world are trying to keep this quiet to stop mass panic, because there is no cure right now. The excuse is one of their agents tried to sell this agent to the CIA, and the vial broke in the animal market in Wuhan City. Problem with that is we don't know if this is true. The initial plan was to spray this in Hong Kong. It was to manipulate the people and give them psychosis so that they're unstable and they could be able to control them. But it didn't pan out that way. This agent was too dangerous. It caused your lungs to collapse and basically your body to melt. Two groups were identified. There were the intellectuals and the Islamic radicals. And I'll spell this province, it's Xinjiang province. It's where the Islamic radicals are. They took them to these training camps. They subjected them to this test, and it caused depression, dementia, cancer, and organ failure. It was then transported to this Hubei province, to a special military testing facility outside of the city of this Wuhan, Wuhan. And this facility is well known. It's kept secret, but everybody knows it's there. It's very close to this wild animal market. And if you remember, the president of China introduced the social credit, which if you are not a model citizen, you are classed as a social degenerate, such as human rights lawyers, activists, Christians, homosexuals, artists, intelligence, people who speak foreign languages, and other undesirables, according to this information we've received. They were taken to this facility and given this substance, which resulted in mass death and unbelievable agony for these people. However, this agent landed up in that market. It spread rapidly throughout the city. According to this person that has given us this information, there is no painkillers. The government suddenly turned around to all the doctors and told them anybody that had any signs of flu, they need to be diagnosed with the coronavirus. They didn't get a handle on it, and thus 5 million people left this area. The numbers are far more than what they're saying. They came up with a new name, 2009-NCOV. They were handing out fact sheets describing the man-made sickness. It's not true. There's 11 million people that live in the city of Wuhan, Wuhan. Within days, thousands were infected, thousands. Agonizing deaths, falling in the street everywhere. They say people were disappearing and leaving and fleeing the city. No, they were dying. They were dying of the agent. There's mass graves everywhere. People are starting to get upset. They can't control this now. It's already spreading throughout the world. Governments need to tell the truth. No flight should be coming out of China. Nothing should be coming out of China right now until they control this virus and find a cure. They say more than 50,000 people are infected. It is far more. It's 100% death rate. Anybody that contracts it dies, according to this report. I'm going to spell this. According to the Chinese government, they built a hospital in 6 days, which they were very proud of. And it's spelled Huoshenshan in Wuhan, Wuhan city. Apparently they built it in 10 days, which is a lie. There's 3 sections to this hospital. The first section is where the people that are contracted with the disease are on beds with doctors, all in masks. Most of it's military. There's the center section, the middle section, where these people are dying. There's no cure for them. They're literally in absolute mental agony as their bodies are deteriorating within. Their lungs are collapsing into pus where they cannot breathe. There's no oxygen being able to get into their bloodstream because the lung capacity, corpuscles have collapsed where the transfer of oxygen goes to the bloodstream. These have collapsed, drowning the people in their own blood. They have no oxygen to supply their bodies and their brains, and therefore they're dying within. The core is the back of the hospital, which are the just dead bodies of women, men, children, elderly, toddlers, rich, poor, beautiful, the proud and the humble, as they say. They're all dead. The agent, just like war, doesn't discriminate against who you are. It's like a bullet. When it flies in a crowd, it doesn't care who you are, you're going to die. There's an enormous furnace burning, and all these bodies are being burnt. The picture I've been given in this description is similar to the Holocaust, where they've stripped the bodies of all their gold and all their jewelry and their clothing. Any valuables is piled up in one side, and the bodies and everything else is being burnt. The world needs to know the truth. I find it ironic that according to a source that I was given, the patent to the SARS virus belongs to Bill Gates. How true that is, I don't know, but I will be researching it. It belongs to a certain group of people in Europe. And there has been talk that the human race needs to be culled by these very same people. Apparently, the news stated that the president of China disappeared approximately 1 week after the outbreak and was seen again with the leader of Cambodia. But do you really think the prime minister of China would risk his life going to Wuhan? The story goes that most of the Chinese government are hidden in bunkers, and the military have taken over to control the mess that they have created. Most African countries are in peril right now. Should they contract this virus, you got no hope. Your medical systems are completely inept, corrupt, on the verge of collapse, and you could never control it. You could never control it. It wouldn't take but a few weeks to wipe out millions. Just look at the AIDS virus in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. People don't learn, and they don't listen, and they don't care. And because of uneducated people and a lack of governments, the world is in a big problem right now. If this virus gets into Africa, it will be a serious problem. This is the Hawk. Please subscribe to my channel. Check that you haven't been unsubscribed. I'm sorry I haven't been on here for a while. I had to deal with some personal stuff. But I will be back, bigger and better. Please like my channel, share. Please donate. Also donate to Jason Bartlett. He's on his way to the White House to explain what's going on in South Africa. I'm going to bring more to you about South Africa and why. And I want to try and analyze why we have Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle Oprah Winfrey, the Clintons, Virgin Airlines, Richard Branson, and all these people are now verging on South Africa like vultures. Angela Merkel, what is really going on there? The Russian Navy, the Russian government, the Chinese government. What's really happening there and why? Beware what you ask for, because these people are not your friends. They never have been. In 25 years or 26 years, have you seen anything better? No. Something's coming, and it doesn't smell right. This is the Hawk. Please subscribe to my channel. Please ask your friends to subscribe. We have to get this news out. Wash your hands. Don't kiss the dog. That's a joke, by the way. I'm out of here.